Good afternoon. My name is Tyler Joyner. I'm the project manager for the manufacturing department Kaizen project for our company. We're going to go over our launch preparation, our preliminary assignments prior to getting the project going, and talk about supporting the project and what our final outcomes are right now, what they can be in the future. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and introduce what deliverables we needed for our Gate 4. All production processes be updated and released for production. Production part approvals complete. Costs loaded into financial system. Productivity realization is initiated. Additional deliverables, just make sure that we secure our resources for our next phase. I would like to thank everybody for coming and introduce everybody that's part of the Gate governance. Phil and Robert with product management, supply chain, Doug and Bob, thank you for being here. Safety, John. Quality, Samantha. Industrial engineering manager, Chris. Program management, Kurt. For finance, Mike. Procurement, Sherry and Eric. IT, Tracy. And human resources, Carol. Thank you all for being here and being part of this and your support. Our project team, let's introduce them. Of course, I said my name is Tyler Joyner. I'm the project manager. Chris is our GM. Jim is our operation manager in charge of our budget. Amy, our department supervisor. Steve, our programmer and labeler. Raymond, Steve, and David helped us out with the general labor. We had Rich as our department specialist as a consultant. Matt was our industrial engineering consultant. Digit was our ERP parts manager, and Clay safety coordinator. So thank you all for being part of this. Well, let's go ahead and talk about a recap of our project and what it was all about. So manufacturing department number 1 has grown over the last 5 years to double the amount of products previously manufactured. However, the layout of the department hasn't changed, so we've created a lot of inefficiencies. Currently, there's a great deal of clutter in organization due to the growth and the lack of changing layout to strategically place our racks and dies and tooling closer to our machines that are compatible to use them. There's also no visual management, therefore there's a lot of confusion. There's extra time that's focused on pulling the dies and correct tooling, and there's opportunity for mistakes. By accomplishing the scope of work for this project, our business has the opportunity to increase productivity, profitability, employee morale, safety, quality, and the capacity for more opportunities and for work. So our tasks are to 5S, clean and repaint the racks and the dies, relocate the racks and dies for quicker access, add visual management, add notes to work orders to correlate the parts with rack location and die numbers, and eliminate downtime and extra footsteps by where we place our racks and dies. We're going to talk more about the benefits and impact as we get further along. Just wanted to go ahead and give you our launch plan and let everybody see that there's a couple things we slightly fell off task, but we were on schedule for everything, and we completed the project on time. Financial business case. We're going to talk a little bit more about this later on in Gate 5. We'll also go ahead and compare all this to Gate 5 to Gate 2 so we can see where we stand. So I will talk about that here shortly. Engineering plans. So we had plans for facility engineer to provide AutoCAD layouts for revisions, which was complete. Determine that we don't have any interferences with current electrical layouts to make sure we're compliant with our safety. Industrial engineer had the task of designing the concepts and us choosing a concept, which we did. We'll look at that shortly. And time studies plan developed to analyze that data for financial business case. We're still working on that. We're going to go ahead and gather some of that analysis at the end of the Q2 for 2020. So this is just making sure that we had our sources planned out and that we have their tasks. We have a couple of things that we need to still analyze and trend, which you can see here at the end that we've got some safety, quality, and industrial engineering tasks, as well as some financial tasks that need to be re-reviewed after the end of Q2 for 2020. We did not make any major changes to our manufacturing facility or our building, so we won't stay on that any further. We did create a quality and reliability plan to make sure that we had all of our ducks in a row, make sure that we were reliable. that the process was capable, and that we also had a risk plan involved as far as safety to make sure we covered ourselves on that. All those items were complete. And we decided which risk for the project were acceptable and unacceptable. So some of the ones we deemed acceptable were employee adaptation to change, taking time away from other projects, creating some downtime for project, adding overtime possibly if needed. Those were some that were acceptable. Others were not acceptable. We could not risk an injury to a stakeholder or employee, create any new hazards, create late orders, fall off our critical path schedule. We could not go over budget, and it was not acceptable to not meet our financial objectives. So as you can see, like we talked about prior, that we are on schedule and we completed all of our tasks. So we're going to wrap up gate 4, and going into gate 5, we want to make sure we had all of our resources lined up, and we secured our funding for phase 5, which was $3,150 more to complete the project. We decided to continue on with it. So we go into gate 5, making sure we have actual financial performance versus our plan, and we want to talk about our lessons learned. We will eventually archive the project, and that will happen in Q1 of 2020 by myself. Just wanted to go ahead and show the new plan and what we've done as far as getting organized, so everybody had a visual on it, and you can see that the flow is a whole lot better than what it was previously. Okay, so I spoke of this earlier that we would go over these numbers, so we want to see what we did financially and how we really benefited from this project. Volume from gate 2 to gate 5, we went up 15% on our capacity, allowing us to make 2.76 million parts versus 2.4. We increased our net profit by 6%, so we went from 264,000 to 275,000. We wanted to decrease our turnover rate by half, so we went from 8% to 4%. There was no CapEx invested, and as far as our expenses, you can see that we were under budget, from $10,500 allowed to only spending $8,500 roughly. And if you look below that, our schedule adherence, you can see that everything was finished on time. Audit results. Although our final audit results highlight production, financials, and safety, they won't be fully complete until Q4 of 2020. Here are the current results based on our project completion. So we wanted to go ahead and audit a few items. Did we meet the budget? Yes. Control measures for improvement established. We have not done that. We need to create a 2019 report to compare the results of 2020, and that's due at the end of the year for next year. Employees are satisfied with changes. They are satisfied. Visual management's established. Yes. Risk assessment complete. That is complete. New work environment deemed safe and no extra hazards. Yes, but we're going to continue to monitor and evaluate that on a quarterly basis for an entire year. Team trained on new processes. We have trained our new team, but we don't have a new hire training program, so we need to establish a new written program for new hires so they understand and are able to jump in there really quick. Very important here, the lessons that were learned. So we had some issues with outside consultation. They were hard to schedule because there was limited resources. We need to be more proactive and schedule them as early as possible. We did start to kind of fall behind on our design layout, so the schedule was not firm. So I had to provide a schedule and expectations and make sure that we're clear on our schedule. Maintenance, we also kind of fell slightly behind on our critical path task, which was making sure we were compliant with all of our electrical needs. They had conflicting projects, some stuff that we didn't expect to come up, so we thought we had them on schedule, but we didn't. So we need to always make sure that we have an outsource that could be readily available, so if we have this issue that we are able to fix it. So requesting full approval for gate 5 to release sustaining resources for support and tracking. We're going to have Matt do the data collection for cost savings and advantages on production. Amy will be measuring capacity changes. Samantha will be tasked with quality performance changes. Clay will take care of our safety performance, and finally Jim will be in charge of support and financial annual reporting. So we've decided to go ahead and archive the project and disband the project team, although we still have a few tasks that will be done that are scheduled. As far as trending and analysis, those will be completed later on, and I want to thank everybody once again for being part of this project, and that is it. Have a great day.